Hey, this is Patrick at ArcSite. I'm going to talk about the text tools that are available, all their options. Text tools are available from that toolbar menu on the right. You can see that I have Annotate selected, and there's two options there for text that we're going to talk about. The top one is the text block. The next one down is that text callout. Before I get into using those, I want to cover some of the ways that you can display that text, and that's available from this little, what looks like a black square on mine right now. Your color may depend. I'm going to open it up. I can see that I can choose a color for the text itself. I can also choose a background color. So a good use of that is if you're, say, going to put it on top of this black square I have on the screen, you can put a white background and it'll stick out. You can also choose what we call the alpha for those. That's the level of transparency. Next, there is a display text border. That means you can have a border, a one-line border around those bits of text. Automatic text height is an interesting one. If it's on, text is going to come out at a size that's relevant to your current zoom level. So if you're zoomed way in, you'll be able to see it when you type it in. When you zoom back out, it'll get smaller. The option that you can do other than that is toggle that off, and then the next field becomes enabled, the text height, and you can choose a common text height for all the entries, regardless of how much you're zoomed in. That's purely a preferential thing, but that is how you change those. We have an alignment tool and a font. In the font piece, you can choose both a type of font and a weight. There's some bold in here and some regular. If you don't see your favorite font, the iOS devices, the iPhone and the iPad, have the capability of having fonts loaded on them. Once they are loaded, you will see them in this drop-down. So I'll talk a little bit about using it. I'm going to start with that text tool. Actually, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to give that background, make it white. Now when I add it to the screen, I'll add it right here. Put some text in. While I can't see it there, if I do that and drag it over, you can see that there is that text background. Next, talk about how you can use that text block. If I simply tap on the screen, it'll start typing right there, but it'll continue on one line, and it'll never start wrapping. If I want to instead have a wrapped text, I have that same tool selected, and I drag the width at which I want the text to start wrapping. So see if I got there yet. Nope, do it a little bit more. You should see now is it did start wrapping at the point of the right side. And jump over to my callout. Callout is simply a text block with an arrow associated with it. So let's say I want to call out something about that big black box here. I'm going to start right at the black box and drag away. Once I do that, I can add some text. And you can see that that arrow is pointing to the spot where your text is relevant to. I can do so, and I can also change how that's being displayed. I have the typical editing capabilities here, but what I wanted to call out here is there is an orange box right there where the arrow bends to the right. So if I press down on that box, I can drag it around and resize and relocate that to best fit your diagram. That's all I'm going to cover today.